Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Jacob Smith, and this time I'm going to be doing something a little different. Now, this weekend I was planning on watching three brand new movies, and instead of doing a review for each one individually, I thought to make it easier on myself and to have a little fun, I'm gonna do what I'm calling a three-way review. That's right, this is my first three-way, and I'm gonna see if I can do it good, make it the best three-way I've ever had. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed watching my three-way, and go from there. All right, now enough jokes. So this weekend, I got lucky to watch three movies that are either hard to find, hard to get into theaters that are local for me, and or are early access. And now I'm going to start with the first review, which, bear with me on the title, is called "Fuck My Son." Yep, I'm not joking. The movie's actually titled "Fuck My Son." It's a brand new movie that came out technically 2025. The movie's description is: a mother's manic quest pulls an unwitty bystander into a twisted, obscene ordeal that spirals into lunacy and terror, where basically she demands the woman to fuck her mutated son. And yeah, that is the actual description. The movie is directed by a man named Ton Roll. This is the first time I'm going to be watching one of his films. And when I saw the poster, which is pretty eye catching, and the description, just everything about it just seemed absolutely bonkers. Also, not to mention that this movie is X rated. I don't really think I've actually seen a legit X rated movie, so I have no idea what to experience or what to expect. I'm assuming it's going to be a little bit like Terrifier, but in a more sexual way rather than gore way. But then again, I could be wrong. I have seen nothing. I don't even think I've seen a trailer, so I don't know what type of quality to expect. But I'll be honest, I am very excited. I'm going all the way out to Los Feliz. I've never really been out there. I don't know the area that well. I'm a little nervous, but at the same time, hey, this is what most people do all the time for film, and they do it all the time. So I gotta man up, suck it up, and be a big boy, put on my big boy pants, and go out there and watch this movie. So I'm gonna go do so, and I'll tell you my review after. All right, guys, just got out of watching F My Son, and wow, that was a pretty interesting movie, if I can say. First off, I want to get this out of the way. The film is definitely a very raunchy, X-rated film, but not in the way I expected. I was expecting, I don't know why, a little bit more. I was expecting a lot more graphicness compared to what we got. I mean, again, this film is definitely not your typical R-rated movie. It's those types of movies that are kind of there for like shock value, like how far can we really go. But something that was interesting was I didn't realize this movie was based off of a comic, and the actual author of the comic was there, and we got to meet him and talk to him for a little bit, and he was fantastic. Again, we also got to talk to like all the actors. We got to talk to the leading star lady. We got to talk to the great actor who portrayed the grand or the mom. We also got to talk to the actor who portrayed the mutated son. And man, they were all just so nice people, such down to earth, friendly, talkative, everything. Like, and the director apparently has done other styles of films, and I'm definitely gonna try to check out more of his work because this film was surprisingly like well made and well shot in a lot of areas. And even how they were talking about afterwards when there was a Q&A was pretty interesting. Now, is the movie good? I'll say this. In your traditional sense, it's not a good movie. The story is a little bit too simplistic. There's no actual character arcs or growth, and it does tend to just go for more shock factor than anything else. But is this an entertaining movie? Hell yeah. If you're the type of person that likes daring, very experimental, out there films, and if you're comfortable enough seeing graphic nudity and just over the top, gross out uh, practical effects, then you'll like this movie. If that's not right up your alley, and obviously if you don't like the title, definitely you're not going to like this movie at all. I'm going to give this movie, on an entertainment level, I would give this movie a 7 out of 10. It's a funny ass, hilarious movie, but being realistic and being honest with my review, the movie itself, I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. It is a very fun, entertaining movie. I would definitely love to watch this movie again. I would even have this movie in my personal collection just to have it. But honestly, it's a movie that I feel like I can't recommend to everyone, but it is definitely a fun time at the theater. And again, I
am very honest with my reviews. I'm not going to let the fact that the people who made it are incredibly nice dictate my view of the film. I'll still say that those people are absolutely incredible, and I would love to pick at their brains more about their films and other ideas, and even maybe even read the comic itself, because I heard there was some stuff in it that they just had to cut. But I would love to do that. But yeah, so that's my review for F My Son.
The other movie that I'm going to be watching is titled Two Sleepy People. It's another 2025 movie, but I was able to find showtimes finally starting this year. The movie follows two office colleagues who become spouses each night, only to return as strangers when the morning comes. It seems like an interesting premise, but the main thing that really hooked me on this was the story and the upbringing of this movie's. So the movie was self-distributed from what I heard by a small little company called Camp Studios, which I've been following them for a while on Instagram, and I have to say they seem almost exactly like what I've been trying to do with my film company, and I admire that a lot. And it's also very inspirational. So I want to see this movie because this is what I can assume is their first big distributed movie. Their first big break. Now the movie is directed, written by a man named Baron Ryan. His co-writer is Caroline Grossman, and from what I can gather, Baron Ryan is a TikToker, not only, or I should say, more online influencer, if you will, who has done a lot of comedic skits, has done a lot of philosophical videos, and from everything else I can gather, has even been very much on the creative side of all that aspect. So now he wanted to make this movie. He wrote it, directed it, helped heavily produce it, and he also co-stars in it. Now, this movie also, the story of Camp Studio and their upbringing, how they were able to really push this film to get into over 1,000 theaters, fill it up, and go on a tour. Just if you guys really want to know more, go ahead and go check out Camp Studios. They have a lot of videos on YouTube about how they were doing this, and really well documented on their experience doing this film in terms of not just filming it, but also how they were getting it out there, distributing it, and everything. And God, I can't wait to watch this movie. This movie, I believe I'm going to go watch it at Edwards in Pasadena. I can't remember the exact name of it at the moment, but I am very much excited to go check out this movie. I will let you guys know how I feel about it.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I just got done watching Two Sleepy People, and I'm gonna do my best not to really judge this one too harshly because, again, I think the main big takeaway is that this is not only a directorial debut type of film, but it's also a film that I think the backstory itself that I explained is the thing that kind of helps carry the movie. But unfortunately, if I'm being honest, even despite that incredible story, and also being able to see a movie that seems like the type of quality that me and my group can make on the big screen, which is also inspirational, the movie itself wasn't bad, but I would say that the movie itself is a cool concept. Like, it has this really interesting concept about this weird link that these two people have that's also like a dream, and how they're connected in the dream, but also finds a creative way to show their deep personal trauma backstory and stuff. And the way they film it up stuff is pretty interesting. There's the only issue I have is that it isn't as simple as it can come off. Like, it took me a really good minute to really understand, like, is this a dream? Is this like parallel realities? Is this like an alternate timeline or the future going into the past? Like, it was just a little confusing. And even like once I thought I got it halfway through, something happens. I'm like, so is it? And then they never necessarily clarify, like they hint to it. But even then, even the hint is like, is it the thing that they've been talking about throughout the movie? Or is it just something that is completely different? And then the acting itself is pretty strong. I think the female lead was definitely the strongest out of it. She had a very much like bubbly, charismatic personality. She had a fantastic, really good emotional like core moment. And I think the other female lead was also very strong. I think unfortunately I do have to say that one of the other guy characters kind of fell one noted. He was funny, but he was a little one noted. And then the main lead himself, the director, this is the issue that I've noticed even with my own stuff where it's like you're trying to direct a movie and you're also trying to act and star in it, is that unless you come from an acting background first and then learn how to properly direct a film and you have the proper crew behind you, then you can do that. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to go from like, oh, I want to direct this and I want to act in it because I know the character. So he wasn't a bad actor. There were some moments where I felt like his acting stayed a little too calm, or he didn't, get to the emotion I feel like the scene required. But that's honestly me being nitpicky. I do think as a directorial debut, the film is very much like it's a pretty well and entertaining movie. And the audience I had was laughing at a lot of the good jokes and moments itself. And then I'll say this, the strongest parts, which are the emotional beats and the dilemma in the film, definitely carries the film. I'm unfortunately gonna have to give this movie a 5 out of 10 as well. Again, not because of anything major, but there's a lot of little minor filmmaking nitpicks I had with it, and it's just so hard because you know it is an independent movie, so I do want to give it a lot of like leeway and stuff like that because it's mistakes that even me and my crew make, but it's also like it's noticeable. It's not like it's kind of noticeable. It's like no, it's clearly there's something there, and it felt like maybe a reshot and stuff like that. And apparently there were reshoots, but not like anything crazy. Again, I don't want this to discourage you from checking out this movie. I think if you are someone who wants to help support independent filmmaking and the rise of like these people and even the story, if you read the story and you really like it, please go out and support this movie wherever it's playing. Go watch it, go support it. It's a good time. It's a good one-time watch. I kind of want to own it in my personal collection just to have a movie that was self-made and independently distributed. But if I'm being honest, it is a movie that I probably will only watch once and maybe not own at all either. But again, it's a really good movie. Hope you guys like it. And that was the second movie out of my three-way celebration. And I will be watching my next one tomorrow, which I will be explaining it right now.
And the third and last movie I'll be watching this weekend is a movie called Send Help. Now, this movie follows two colleagues become stranded on a deserted island, the only survivors of a plane crash. On the island, they must overcome past grievances and work together to survive, but ultimately, the battle of wills and wits to see who makes it out alive. Now, this film I've been following for maybe I would say like 6 months now, ever since I saw a Rat Production logo that had Sam Raimi's name all over it. So in my head, I was like, oh my god, another Sam Raimi movie. I'm excited because, I love Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi is one of those directors that anytime I see his name attached to something, I'm immediately going to go watch. However, he was just directing this movie. The writers are people named Damien Shannon and Mark Swift. Now, I wasn't too familiar with those names. I just had to do some research. And apparently they are a writing duo who have done films such as Friday the 13th, the remake, and Freddy vs. Jason, and even the recent Baywatch remake. So they've had experience writing. So, but it doesn't seem like they had too much experience in terms of directing. So now, I guess Sam Raimi came in as a director, but usually for Sam Raimi, he'll come in and help direct a movie if he really likes it. Now, I'm very excited to watch this movie. This one's more of an early access that I got lucky to watch, and I'll let you guys know how I feel about this one once I watch it.
All right, I just got out of Send Help, which is a film that is directed by Sam Raimi, stars Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien. And this is the last movie in my three-way review, and I am so happy that the third round was the best round. Oh my god, it was such a fun movie. The movie, I'll say that is the best way to describe the movie. It is a fun movie. If you know Sam Raimi's types of films, you know his creative directorial flair, where he likes to incorporate hints of horror and his classic Evil Dead-esque cinematography. And it's lightly sprinkled in here to where it doesn't overshadow the actual movie. And the actual movie is very, very nice. It's about just these two coworkers. One's a boss, one's someone that works under him. They don't quite respect each other. Now they're forced to be on this island together, and the dynamic changes. And this is a survival thriller in a way, but it kind of takes a little bit more of a deeper approach as to, how everything is and why she's the way she is and why the boss man is the way he is, and then also challenges their ideologies and their beliefs. And one may be trying to one up the other one's just trying to survive. And it really plays with the whole survival concept and idea. And there are some like cool twists and turns, and there's some gnarly like moments in there with some gore effects that are pretty cool. The acting is also really solid on both ends. They managed to handle the more thrilling freak out moments while also simultaneously doing the nice heartfelt sweet tender moments. I think my only gripe I could say with this movie is that there was quite a bit of CGI use than I'm used to from Sam Raimi, but at the same time there's some things in there that they had to that isn't, that they can't really do practically anymore, or at least with maybe the time restraints that are given. And there's one specific moment that is definitely like very Evil Dead Sam Raimi that kind of just stood out. It was a scene that I get why it was put there, but it kind of just felt a little like out of nowhere. Like it was a jump scare moment. It was a solid jump scare, it got me, but it just really just felt like, oh, this is okay. This is definitely a choice made by the director, which isn't bad. It's just something I did notice that stood out a lot. But this movie is pretty solid. I don't think I have anything that is really a negative for it, besides just those few minor things. This movie is a really solid, fun time. I definitely recommend you guys going out and watching it. I think the trailer made it seem more horror driven, but it's not. It's a nice, cool thriller with some nice, tender character moments. I'm probably gonna give this movie. I'm gonna give this movie 8 out of 10. It's a really, really good movie. I definitely would own this movie, and I recommend watching it in theaters. And yeah, and also this concludes my three-way review. I'm very, very sorry that this review is very long. Hopefully you guys enjoyed three-way as much as I did, and hopefully we could do another one of these upcoming weeks or so. I'll probably do more three-way reviews if I ever go to a film festival, stuff like that. Yeah, so like, subscribe if you guys can, and I'll see you guys next time.